Welcome to Data Decypher, a cloud-based solution to the management of inspection systems for corporations that are large or small. Here we see the typical Data Decypher dashboard display, showing on the left a list of the levels in the corporation from corporation, facility, location and sublocation, which can be further subdivided to show assets that are being monitored by the inspection system. Inspections can be located at any one of these sublocations or indeed at any level in the hierarchy. Selecting any of the locations or sublocations shows the control panel to the right, which can indicate the number of inspections that are currently in the various levels of OK, warning or critical that we can have throughout the system. Here, by moving to a new location, we can see a display in various different formats of the inspections that have been taken at that location. This can show a graph, or it can be shown in bar format here, and we can show the different levels as being either critical, indicated by the red, or an inspection that hasn't yet been taken, is shown in blue. The different graphs are showing the number of inspections of each type, OK, warning or critical, that we can see for each of the locations. And if we look at them, we see here that we've got a critical, it would show up in red. We've got a number of inspections that haven't been taken that are indicated in blue. The ones that are OK or good would be in green, and warnings would be in yellow. So every time we select a new location, we see the number of inspections that fall into the different categories, where they are either OK or something has been flagged up as being wrong, either a warning or a critical. What we will now show is how to create inspections and add them into the Data Decypher hierarchy at the various levels, and show how easy it is for a user to define their own inspections. This short video clip will now illustrate how to add inspections to the Data Decypher hierarchy. The first thing to do is to actually create a template of an inspection that can be added into one of the levels in the hierarchy. So selecting templates, inspections, and then add an inspection. And the first thing we want to do is give it a name. In this case, we're going to set up an inspection called Office Clean. What we'll then do is set up some questions that will be added to this inspection. We can ask questions like, is the floor clean? And we can specify the type of answer we want, yes or no. In this case, yes is a good. We're now adding another question, and these questions can have outcomes that can be either good or bad, yes or no. And these are all selected from the template. So a trip hazard, in this case we want no is good. We then go on to add another one, and this time the question is going to ask if the shelves are tidy. And again, we have to choose the type of answer that we want, whether we want to have yes or no. In this case, yes is good, the shelves are tidy, would be an OK. We can include a photo at this stage by ticking the box. It gives that opportunity to the person carrying out the inspection to add other information. Here we're now setting up a room temperature, and in this case we want an answer that's not an OK type. We actually want it to be a numeric value, and by selecting a numeric value we can then go further and set alarm levels based on the numeric value that's entered during the inspection. So here we can set an upper alarm level, and if the temperature goes above this level, then we're going to flag it up as critical. Similarly, if the temperature goes below a lower level, we will also flag it as critical. So we've set some levels here for criticality, high and low temperature. We can also choose layers in between that, or levels in between that, and we can have warnings. So for example, if I want to have a warning if the temperature drops below 19, that will come up in amber as opposed to the two criticals that come up in red. I'm finally putting in a comment here, and this is going to be of a different type of input. This time it's going to be a text input, and we can include a photograph again at this point in the inspection. Lastly, a very useful form of question or inspection to carry out is to get a signature from the person carrying out the inspection so that they've actually got ownership of the inspection, and we've got traceability to find out who carried out the inspection and check that they really did do it by signing it off at the end of it. So now we're going to save this template, and we've now got an inspection called Office Clean that then can be added into whatever points in the hierarchy we wish to see it. We can do this individually by going to a point in the hierarchy and selecting a location and adding that inspection in at that point. So when somebody wants to go to that location, they can access this inspection automatically. It will be presented to them when they carry out the inspection. Office Clean is one of the options they will have to carry out. An alternative method is to use a far more powerful feature of Data Decypher and use the power search and locate all the offices where I might want to actually carry out this inspection. And I can do this by selecting the word office as one of my search terms, and the power search will return all the locations that have the word office in their description. By using the features of the power search, I can select those locations either in terms of their areas or type of office that I want to add the inspection to, and I select it from the templates. I find the inspection I want, and by clicking add, it will add this inspection to all those locations that I've specified using the power search. I can go down here now and have a look on my list and, for example, pick up one of the areas and notice that Office Clean is an inspection that's been added to the sales office, and it's also been added to the administration office on this plant hierarchy over on the left. I'm now going to use the power search to add this inspection and the locations that are to be inspected to a route so that it can be downloaded to an operator who can then go out and perform these inspections at the locations that I've specified. So here we are now looking for locations that we wish to be added to our route, and we're setting them up, and we're going to add them into a route which we're now going to give a name, and this is going to be our Office Clean inspection route. And we can see that under the location we've chosen, we've got 3 inspections that are going to be carried out when the user downloads that particular route. If they downloaded a route that had more locations, there would be more instances of the inspection that we would ask them to do. So here we are, for example, we're going to select these Office Clean inspections that have been allocated to Unit 10, various offices, and they're going to be added to a route, and we're giving it a name, and this would then put it into our list of routes that we could then select from if we wanted to give this to someone in particular that was going to go out and make the inspection. So here we've given it a name, Unit 10, Office Clean. That's given us a route. It's been added into our list. So what we now need to do is find a user that we're going to allocate that to. And if we select from our users and pull up a list of the people that we can assign it to, then we find here we've picked out Dave Jones as being the person that needs to do this, and we're going to allocate them the Unit 10 Office Clean route so that they can now download that to their unit, their handheld unit, and go off and carry out those inspections for us. In order to carry out an inspection or a series of inspections, the user simply opens the app on their cell phone, for example an Android or an iPhone or Windows mobile phone, and log in using their password. This then causes the routes that have been allocated to them to be downloaded to the phone. The routes can be selected, and then from there the inspections will all be listed. The individual inspections within a route can now be selected. In this example, we're going to select the Unit 10 ground floor electrical office inspection. The inspection questions which default to yes or no will come up as OK, so they can be left as they are unless a particular incident has occurred or a level of criticality that needs to be indicated has been noted by the person carrying out the inspection. In the example being given here, a trip hazard has been noticed. So we can go into trip hazard and we can actually take a photograph of the trip hazard so that this will be uploaded for later inspection on the Decypher system. So here we are taking our photo, and we can select this as the one we're going to use and then select trip hazard as critical. In this next example, we'll show how to enter a numerical value, for example the room temperature. By choosing the room temperature as being a value that's outside of the limit, critical will come up. Had we chosen a value here 21 that's within the limits, it would show us OK. But because we're recording a temperature of 14, room temperature has now gone red. The next example shows how we could add a comment. You can type in whatever you like from the keypad on screen on the mobile phone. Another useful feature is to be able to sign off the inspection, and here we put the user's name and the signature to show who actually carried out this inspection. Once the inspection has been completed, we can select back on the mobile phone to go back to the route. Here we can see that office clean, the bottom inspection has been carried out and a check mark has appeared in blue to indicate it's been taken. The level of criticality showing is red. Going into the next inspection, here we're entering room temperature and the value is OK, it's within the limits. Again, comments, we can type anything we like here, and then finally we sign off the inspection in the same way as before. Completing that inspection, we go back. We now see we've got two completed inspections, one at the top that's OK, one at the bottom which is showing us critical, it's in red. Going back to the route, we now see that the highest level of criticality in the route is red for critical, but the route hasn't yet been completed as indicated by the blue box. So if we go back in and complete this route, we can finish off just putting in here a room temperature, some comments. Again, anything can be typed at this point, it's entirely up to the user. And then finally we'll finish off with a signature to sign off the inspection, which will have completed this particular inspection. And going back, we now see that the route's complete as all the boxes have been checked. Going back a stage further, every inspection here has been done. We now see that the route has been finished as well, and we're now ready to upload our files to Decypher. Decypher offers a variety of different ways of examining the information that has been uploaded from the various inspections carried out by the users of the system. Clicking on the top level of the hierarchy, for example, shows all the inspections that have been carried out, and they can be viewed on different time scales to show the number of criticals, warnings and OKs that are present on the system. Individual locations can be selected and the information displayed showing the criticality of the various inspections that have been carried out. A good way of doing this is to generate a report, and we can do this by selecting reports and then specifying the type of report that we want, i.e. the level of information that we want displayed in our report. So here we see all the criticalities of the various inspections that have been carried out under the location that we have just selected. It is also possible to use the power search feature of Decypher to obtain reports that are more specific in nature, and you can give very detailed information such as a location and the type of inspection report that you want. So here we can specify, for example, that we want all the office clean reports that are held on the system underneath the location Unit 10. So typing this information in shows all the reports that are in critical, and if we select them, generate the report, say what level of report we want, what level of detail, and the location and so on, then we can actually print out all the criticalities for that particular location. In summary, Decypher is a very powerful tool for examining the inspections that have been carried out and the information that's been brought into the system by those inspections. Clicking on locations will bring up information that can be examined in more detail to see who provided the information, what information they provided, and we can look at images, graphs, statistical information, everything at a glance. At the higher level, we can see immediately what's going on at the entire hierarchy and at any location therein. All the information being presented in color-coded graphical form.